In court Tuesday morning, Judge Jason Wharton formally appointed Preston Pierce a new attorney and co-counsel. Pierce, the man charged in the murder of Gretchen Fleming in May, was appointed Michael Ekus of Gallipolis, Ohio as his attorney. Judge Jason Wharton also approved Joshua Daly to serve as co-counsel. Wharton set the next status hearing for 9 a.m. Friday, August 28th, noting the defense needs time to review discovery and determine whether experts will be needed. He also asked both sides to file discovery with the clerk under seal to keep a clean copy on record without it becoming public. Wharton is reviewing a defense motion requesting Pierce be allowed to appear in street clothes instead of jail clothes at pretrial hearings. Prosecutors objected, citing security concerns, but the defense argued Pierce's appearance in jail clothing during high-profile hearings could create prejudice. Wharton says he'll take that motion under advisement and issue a written ruling before the next hearing.